This course has helped me develop a sense of TPAC and how to use it in a classroom. For example, when choosing an assignment, I would always focus on content first, the what. I mainly focused on kindergarten and first grade language arts and math. Second, I would focus on pedagogy, the how, which consisted of direct instruction, modeling, etc. Finally, I would connect my content and my pedagogy to my technological knowledge. I did this through smartboards, clickers, and iPads. Our first assignment was smartboards. I focused on kindergarten reading and letter comprehension. The letter of the week was the letter P. First, I would have students come up and they would trace the letter P. They would do this for the upper and lowercase p. Next, I would have several students come up and they would find which pictures begin with the letter P, and they would drag them to the bottom to see if they were correct. For example, students would pick the picture puppy. They would drag this down to the bottom, and our word puppy comes up in the bottom. There are also pants and pen and pencil and peas, a lot of P words for students to have chances to come up to the board. Next, we focused on our sight words. There were 4 sight words: they, the, to, and. This allowed students to come up and press on an apple. After they pressed on the apple, they had to read each of the sight words. For example, if a student were to click on this apple, they would have to read the word the. And if another student would click on this apple, they would have to read the word and so forth. For this slide, students would come up and they would need to reveal the sight word by erasing what was in the block. So if a student would erase what was on this block, they would have to read the word to. This would continue until all of the boxes were clear. This is my lesson plan for the Smartboard lesson. I have the subject, topic, grade, goals, objective, purpose, procedure, instructional materials, and resources. Our next assignment focused on clickers. I chose first grade mathematics for this assignment, and we focused on greater, less than, or equal to. Before I began the assignment, I used several manipulatives to review the material with the students, which consisted of alligators, a clam, and different sea animals as the food that the alligators would eat off of the islands. Next, we began our quiz. The quiz consisted of 10 questions. I'm going to go through them quickly. Students would use their clickers to answer the question. The first question: what is the correct sign for this equation? The students would count how many are on each side. 5. So they would choose C. Students will continue this process to answer the rest of their questions. Once again, I have my lesson plan. I have the subject, the topic, the grade, the goal, the objective, my purpose, procedure, instructional materials, and resources. Our next assignment focused on iPads. I don't have an iPad, so I'm going to show a short video of what Sushi Monster would do. This video shows multiplication though. I use the app for addition. The idea of the app is to use fast math. So at the top, you are given 2 numbers or 3 numbers you need to get the answer for. So the answer shows here, so you need to choose two numbers that equal that number. And this continues until you get all of the correct answers. If you get the answers wrong, the monster will throw the food back at you and you will get a second chance. But you need to answer all of your answers correctly to get a correct score. And again, here is my lesson plan for our iPad lesson. I have my subject, my topic, my grade, as usual, my goals, my objective, my purpose, my procedure. My procedure is a little longer. I explained what I would do in an actual lesson and then what I would use the iPad for, and my material and my resources. Our next assignment we did as a group assignment. It was a tech choice. Our group was given Poll Everywhere and Wordle. So we were to teach our classroom how to use these materials in order to have them use them in their own classroom. So here is a short video that my classmates and I put together for our class to learn how to use Poll Everywhere. So this just shows how to create your first poll without making a login. So you would just type in your poll question, and you are given multiple ideas of how you can have your students answer those questions. To sign up for Poll Everywhere, all you need is your name, your email, a password, and who your audience is. I'm going to log into my account to show you further into the program. Okay, so now that I've logged on, I have all of my questions ready, but I'm going to show you again how to create a poll. So I'm going to use the exact same question I used before. And I'm going to use an open-ended question with wall text, but I'm showing other options you have. You can also use multiple choice. You can change it. You don't have to have true and false. You can delete. You can have as many questions as you want. And you can also have clickable images, so you don't always have to have whatever answer A, B, C. You can have pictures also. So once you create your poll, it will come up, it will load, but then you need to feed your answers out. So I created a URL, pollev.com/usafacts. It also shows you how many participants you have, and you will begin the poll by pressing the button. And slowly, as your students will answer, they will pop up on the screen. The states, 50 states. So as these are coming in, you can actually click on them to make them bigger. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to look at the report history, and it'll show you how they answered, if they answered from the web, if they answered from the cell phone, when they answered, and at exactly what time they answered. Next, we're going to turn all of this into a Wordle. So you're going to copy all of it, hit Wordle, and then you're going to paste it into the Wordle and hit go. And what this does is it shows what words were used the most. So the states. So if one of your students had sent in a wrong answer and all of your other students sent in the right answer, you could see the wrong answer would be very, very tiny and our right answer would be very, very big. And this helps notice which areas you're going to need to teach a little bit more or you need to focus on a little bit better. But you can make this fun for students so it's not, oh, you did this wrong. For this assignment, we also had to do a lesson plan. Each one of the classmates in my group decided that we would create our own lesson plans rather than having to put all of our ideas in one. We all kind of got the same idea across. This one I actually did in task stream aside from using the outline we were given in Word. So I have the subject, the topic, the grade, the same areas that were in the others. And we needed the smartboard and the iPads for students to answer. Finally, our last project was to create a flipped classroom, which I thought was one of the best assignments that we had because I had never heard of flipped classrooms. So for this assignment, I chose kindergarten math, counting 1 to 10, and I created a short film that my students would watch at home and start to get the concept of counting. So I'm going to play a little bit of it. I'll skip through some.
We are going to learn about counting 1 to 10. If you put out your fingers, you can count 1 to 10. Let's try it now. Put up your two hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I'm going to go through some pictures and help you count. If you want, you can count along with your hands. 1. I have 1 soccer ball. 1. 2. There are 2 cats. 1, 2.
I continue to do this through the video. I also added a short film for the students to watch throughout the video. I used Prezi to create my film, so it was a little easier with my transitions.
Little numbers.
So this would just be a fun aspect for kindergarteners at home. And then this would continue from 1 to 10 as if a student were to use it. Next, I had my students go to a website, and this website was a little extra reinforcement that they would be given to be ready for class the next day. They would have multiple questions like this: how many suitcases are there? They would need to count how many suitcases and give the answer. It also shows how many problems were attempted and how long it took them and their possible score out of 100. Students would finish this and then they would print out their last page and bring this to class with them the next day. And this is my lesson plan for my flipped classroom. This lesson plan I put a little bit more work into because I actually knew at this point how to create a correct lesson plan. You can see the difference from my first lesson plan to this lesson plan, how much further I have advanced in the program. I actually added my standards, and in my purpose I put my anticipatory set, my input, my modeling. I put each step of the Madeline Hunter. So I also added that this is a direct instruction, that this is not cooperative. I am physically in front of the students via a computer screen. And I put, as usual, my instructional materials and my resources. So this course has definitely helped me with my technological knowledge. When I began this class, I had no idea how to use a smartboard. I had no idea how to use clickers. I had used clickers in a classroom when I was in high school, but I didn't know the background behind them. I didn't know how to actually put something together. So I'm very, very glad I had the opportunity to take this class, and I will definitely take a lot from it. So I thank you.